Good evening, everybody. This is Tammy. I'm the president of Fun and Adventure at Singles Travel International, and I am très excited to be presenting Beautiful Bordeaux plus Paris. This is a summer event, 2025. We're going to take full advantage of an updated, beautiful city because they just did the Olympics. So everything will be shiny and new, and there'll be so many new additions to the City of Light, called such because of its diverse culture, art, rich history, and the most iconic sites. It's definitely at the top of every traveler's bucket list destinations, whether it's your first time or your 10th time. This city is filled with things that it just becomes more and more interesting every time you go. And we're adding Paris in front of our Bordeaux River cruise. Last summer, we did the same trip and we kept the Paris portion separate. But this year, we were able to create such a great value working with one of the hoteliers that we included it into the prices. And you'll see by the end of the program how much of a great deal it is to be able to do the Paris portion with Bordeaux. So I'm going to go ahead and bear with me. I have another person coming in here that I'm going to admit. Bear with me, guys. Okay. So, Paris. And then after I'm finished with the Paris portion and our package and our exciting package, we'll turn over to Jeff and he's going to talk about the river cruise in Bordeaux. So let's get started and let's talk about Paris. Right bank, left bank. I'm not sure if any of you here tonight have been to Paris, but I thought this is a great place to start. The city is divided by the Seine River. So on the top of the screen, you're seeing what's called the right bank, or you may have heard it called the Rive Droite. Below the river, on the bottom part of the screen, that is the left bank, or the Rive Gauche. The right bank is the more aristocratic side of Paris. And that's where you can see the Grand Palais, the Louvre is over there. And Paris is divided into what they call arrondissements. Those are the neighborhoods. So if you're from the first, everybody knows you're from the first. That means you're pretty special because you're down in this area where Notre Dame is. Now, the left bank has always been the more artistic. There are universities there, the Sorbonne, and so lots of students over the years, lots of great old libraries and bookstores, and so it's a much more livable area over the years and over history. But of course, we are going to be staying on the right bank. And if you look on the right-hand part of the screen, you can see that we've got a little bubble that says Mercure, Paris, Gare de Lyon. It's green on a black circle. That's where our hotel is located. We're just within 10 minutes of Notre Dame. So we're in a great space. Now, Paris is a really big city. So maybe like London or Chicago. I heard somebody in the room from Chicago. There's no perfect place to stay because it's such a big city. So you just want to be well situated and then be able to use the transportation or walk to get around town. That's another great benefit of Paris. It's such a walking city. And to be there in the summertime, going along the River Seine, you can sometimes get a little deceived because you'll say, oh, the Eiffel Tower is just down there. Well, 2 hours later, you'll be just getting to the Eiffel Tower because the distances are quite great, but the sites are so large that they look like they're closer. So you have your concierge there from Singles Travel International. She's going to provide maps and help you get your way around. And more importantly, the public transportation, which is called the metro, le metro in Paris, is really easy to use. So she'll be sure to show you how to do that. She'll probably even jump on the train with you the first time to show you all how to navigate Paris underground. And it's a great way to get from point A to point B very quickly. Paris is known for its iconic sites. And some of these that we're showing you tonight, I'm sure are things that you've been dying to see if you've never been to Paris. This, of course, is the famous Louvre with the IMP pyramid in the middle. There's no way you're going to be able to see this in one single day, but you could certainly do an expedited tour and see some of the more famous sites, including the Mona Lisa. The famous Notre Dame with her beautiful buttresses. L'Arc de Triomphe, which is a very iconic site, and it's at the end of the Champs-Élysées. Definitely a place that you're going to want to visit. And you can see at the very top, there is an observatory. So you're able to go to the top of the Arc and you can see all of the city from up there. I highly recommend that. The last site, and there are many, these are just the highlights. A place that a lot of people like to go is Montmartre. That is where that white basilica is located on the left-hand side of your screen, and it's at the top of one of the highest hills in Paris. And what makes it so cool is it's another area for artists. So you would be able to have a dinner up there, see some of the artists. A lot of them do caricatures. You could get a caricature done of yourself. And at the bottom, in the neighborhood called Pigalle, you are able to catch a funicular to take you up to Montmartre. And it's a wonderful place to do a sunset before you have your dinner. Who was a famous artist from that area called Pigalle was Henri Toulouse-Lautrec. You may remember his famous poster paintings. There's an example of one on the right. He was famous for hanging around that very sketchy area at the time and painting the famous Can-Can girls. That's another opportunity while you're in Paris to go see the Moulin Rouge. Art is one of the most sought after things to look at while you're in Paris. I think almost everybody's favorite is Impressionism. And here are a couple of your favorites. We've got a Renoir and a Monet from the famous gardens when he was living in Giverny. And you'll be able to visit the Musée d'Orsay while you're in Paris, which has one of the largest collections, if not the largest collection of Impressionist art in the world. You could spend your whole day there for sure. In addition to the artwork, we've got the fashion of Paris. Paris is world renowned for their fashion, which they call la mode. You've heard à la mode, that means in fashion. It's not just a cherry on the top of our sundae. So the week that we're going to be there, or the weekend, is right before the famous Fashion Week. It is the most famous fashion event of the year. And so anybody who's anybody is going to be in Paris. Movie stars, moguls, you name it, not to mention a ton of beautiful people. So get your cameras out and be ready because you never know who you're going to see while you're in Paris that weekend. It does start on Monday. And so if you want to see some of the events, just let me know. We'll see if we can find out what's available. But most of the festivities do start the following day. Bear with me, guys. We have another person who's joining. Trying to admit them. Okay, we'll go back to the presentation now. I apologize for that. So, Fashion Week. And of course, probably, I think the most exciting and looked forward to part of a visit to Paris is the cuisine. French cuisine is bar none. From early in the morning until late at night, you can indulge in your favorite things from chocolate croissants to crepes. We talked earlier about that visit up to Montmartre. If you do take the funicular before you go up, there are tons of crepe stands there. or you could have dinner up in Montmartre and then come down and have a crepe for dessert. The other thing that I particularly love in Paris is escargot, otherwise known as snails. That might not be for everybody, but these are escargot bourguignon. And on the right-hand side, something that is found in almost every little bistro, it's steak frite. So a wonderful way to have a very reasonable dinner while you're in Paris. And of course, we're going to include one for the group on that first night before everybody gets oriented so that you get a good idea of where to go and what to do while you're in Paris. On the right-hand side here, you'll see Vicky. She's our concierge for this particular trip, and she's really looking forward to it. Actually, this trip became evident or grew out of the Portugal river cruise this summer. Vicky was escorting, and half of the members that were on that trip told her they'd love to do this trip next summer. So we decided to put it out there. And so we're really excited. And she is too. She's wonderful. Everybody loves Vicky. She's always got a smile on her face. And she is always attentive. And I've heard one of our members say, when Vicky's talking to you, you feel like you're the only person in the room. So she's going to be very, very happy to take care of you while you're in Paris and in Bordeaux. These are our included features for the program for the first portion of this tour, which is 3 nights, 2 nights in Paris, 1 night in Bordeaux, breakfast every day, a welcome dinner. You're going to have a free day to do all of those things that you want to do in Paris. We left it open, and Vicky, of course, is going to be able to help you find exactly what you want to do. And then on the after our 2 nights in Paris, we're going to jump on a transfer over to the train station where we're going to board the famous and high-speed TGV train. So all of these things will be included. And let me just give you a shot of one other optional item that we're offering here, which is a wonderful way to do an evening, because you'll have 1 free evening in Paris while there. It's called the Bateau Mouche, and it is very popular among tourists. I will say that the food is phenomenal. It's not an overly touristy site or attraction where sometimes you do things and you're like, oh, this is too touristy. It's wonderful. They greet you with an aperitif. We're going to have a 3-course gourmet dinner. And all along, you can see the glass rooftop that will glide us along the Seine River. We'll be able to see all of the sparkling lights of the Paris cityscape, including the Eiffel Tower. So I highly recommend that. And it is an option that you're able to add when you make your reservation on the website. This is our hotel. It's a modern and 4-star hotel in a good location right near the train station. So you'll be able to take advantage of that metro transportation that I talked about earlier, just to get around the city very easily. Comfortable and clean, as you can see. And that was let me go back one. That was a picture.
Oh.
Of the train. This is the TGV, the new Inouï version. And we're going to be traveling 363 miles from Paris to Bordeaux in 2 hours. So who wants to do the math on that? You guessed it, it's almost 200 miles an hour. And of course, the TGV is capable of going up to almost 400 miles an hour. So it is fast. It's a very great experience. We won't be served a meal on board. They have a meal car and a bar car, so you are able to get up and leave your personal belongings near your seat. Vicky will be there. Go have a drink. The photographing from the train is not that great because you're going pretty fast. So the idea for us is to have that experience and then just to get to Bordeaux as fast as we can. Start that experience. Here we are in Bordeaux. This is called the Miroir d'Eau. It is a reflecting pool in the center of Bordeaux, right next to the Garonne River. near the old center of the city, and it is the most photographed site in the city of Bordeaux. Our hotel is very near here, and so we're super walkable to everything. So once we get off the train, Vicky will help everybody with their bags, and we'll make our way over to the hotel. And these are just some of the iconic sites of Bordeaux. And I'm sure that everybody who's going on this program is a wine lover and is looking forward to being able to drink Bordeaux wine. And by the way, when you're in Bordeaux, the table wine is Bordeaux wine. So even though at home we probably tend to pay anywhere from $100+ for a bottle of Bordeaux wine, here in Bordeaux, you'll be able to have a glass of wine for 10 euros, and it'll be a wonderful Margaux or a Pauillac or a Saint-Emilion, all of those names that you know so well, those expensive names. So you're going to love it, and you're not going to want to leave because you know when you get home, you're going to be back at those original prices for that famous and delicious Bordeaux wine. You'll be doing a lot of wine drinking while you're on this river cruise as well. There's some phenomenal excursions with our Avalon Waterways partners. Our beautiful 4-star hotel in Bordeaux is called the Hotel de 16. It is a hotel and spa. We have comfortable, beautiful little rooms. It's got a restaurant. And as I said, we're right in the center of all the action in Bordeaux. So I'm going to tell you how to participate in this, but we have such a really, it's such a valuable package. And we have a special offer now for everybody who's here at the event or who makes a reservation in the next week. So I'll come back to that. For now, I'm going to go ahead and turn over to Jeff so he can talk about what's going to happen after we take everybody from the Hotel de 16 to the ship on the first day of the cruise. Jeff, it's all yours.
Okay. I think you need to release to me. It's saying someone else is sharing.
You should be able to share it, but let me go ahead. I'll stop. Go ahead.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. Did everybody see my screen? Cruising elevated?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. Sounds great. Wonderful. I think I want to go with you guys. That sounds like such a great trip. I do love Paris, and of course, I'm sure everybody was watching the Olympics. So if you weren't in love with Paris before, after watching the Olympics, it certainly highlighted it. And everybody's excited about going to Paris now. So what a great trip. So again, Jeff Verlotta, I am the business development manager for its Globus family of brands, and overall, we are the largest touring company in the world. We actually have 52% of all the market of touring. One of our divisions is Avalon, and the great thing is we've been around 96 years as a company, and the great thing is we kind of used our pull, our contacts with Globus and morphed it into an amazing river cruise company called Avalon, and we think we're very special. So this is a little bit about the Bonjour Bordeaux itinerary that you will be on. 8 days, one country, of course, through France, and this is a new itinerary for us. It's March of next year will be the first time. We've been doing this for 20 years as a company. Bordeaux is new for us, but we're real excited about it. And I think, as Tammy said, it will definitely give you an opportunity to do some wine drinking. That will definitely be a highlight of this. So I've got a quick video here that will kind of highlight a little bit about Avalon. Awesome. Up. Let's jump here. So again, a little bit about who we are. Again, this is our 20th year of operating river cruises. We have 77 different cruises. We're on 11 rivers in Europe, 24 countries. So we do quite a bit of the rivers in Europe. That's really where we focus. The great thing about what we do is, and I'm not sure how many people have been on an ocean cruise. 80% of the clients that we have travel from us, that's where they come from. They've started cruising on an ocean cruise and they want to try something different. And we are very, very different than an ocean cruise. Number one, no one gets seasick on a river cruise. So always keep that in mind. Again, it's a low passenger count. These ships average approximately 150 people. So that's actually just not even one deck on one of the big major cruise ships. A very high crew attention, high service levels, extremely high guest satisfaction. And that's a big, big part of the whole experience. You really don't think of it as a ship. You really think of it as a boutique hotel that happens to move to different cities. So lots of things to do, no crowds. We kind of talk about an ocean cruise takes you to a country, a river cruise takes you within a country, because some of the cities that we go to, and obviously the ports along the way, you might not normally be able to go to any of these places except on a river cruise. So it's really a unique local experience when you're traveling. And that's a big part of the experience, the entertainment. The food is locally sourced in many instances. And the crew is worldwide. So it really is a very international experience. So as we say, the great thing is when you're traveling along the river, when you pull in, you're basically in the center of town everywhere. You can get off the ship. Generally, it's short walks, walking tours. I believe there's one overnight. There's actually two overnights. Of course, there's an overnight, and I'll go through the itinerary here in a little bit. And then basically the last night, the ship will be your hotel while you are in Bordeaux. So you're basically close to everything. And as we say, far from worry when you're doing this. So I don't know if anybody follows Cruise Critic. If you're a cruiser, you probably do that. I'm sure Tammy follows it. And as she had mentioned, was Travel and Leisure. We were just voted the #1 cruise line. Also on Cruise Critic, we're always either #1 or #2. We were just voted best river cruise line short excursions, best in Europe river, and best river cruise line cabins per Cruise Critic. And we're real proud of those because those were given by basically consumers, travelers. They're the ones that voted on that. So there's a lot of different river cruise lines out there. You may have seen some other names out there. We think we're a little bit different. And these are some of the things, the suites, the dining, the choices that you have. That's how we position ourselves a little bit differently. So the #1 thing is our staterooms, our cabins are 30% larger than basically the competition. And it's basically 100% wide open views. And this is an example of what we have. And a little bit about river cruising, if you're not aware, all the ships all have to be the same size, just because they all have to fit underneath bridges. They have to be the same width because they have to go on through the locks. So basically, the ship sizes are all the same with the different companies. The design is what is a little bit different. We've decided to basically design our ships where there really are what you would typically call a French balcony. If you notice, there's sliding windows that open up, and some of the cruise lines, they actually have a balcony you walk out to. Well, the problem with that is it cuts into the size of the stateroom. So basically what we've done is we've incorporated the balcony into the stateroom. So you can basically see that's why we can make them 30% larger. And this might not seem like a big deal, but if there's one thing you notice here, the beds actually face the water. So we're really the only river cruise company that does that. And it doesn't sound significant until you're laying in bed and you wake up and you can look out at the river. But again, our views are very, very different than kind of what our competitors on it. So that's actually can be very, very significant. So, and then a couple of the other things, like as I mentioned, you can kind of, when you lay in bed, there's a table. The table actually moves up and down, so it doesn't obstruct your view. You have choices of mattresses when you get on board the ship. If you want stiffer, firmer mattress, softer mattress, you can do that. We have continental breakfast in bed. So if you don't want to get up and you don't want to go to breakfast, and generally breakfast is a buffet, you can have it brought to your room. We have room service for lunch and dinner. It's served by course. So if you don't want to dress for dinner, and it's not really fancy, tuxedo or anything like that, but if you feel like you just want to chill, and I think everybody's pretty much going to be a single on this, if you want to just stay in your cabin for lunch and dinner and just order room service, you have that available for you too. Also keep in mind, wine and beer is included for breakfast and lunch. So fresh water daily in the rooms, Cetane bath products, large bathroom with full shower. If you're single, it's not a big deal, but we actually have two color towels. So in case you're sharing a room, you know whose towel is whose. So again, little things like that make all the difference. But of course, it's about the food. That's a big part of the whole food experience. And as I had mentioned, when the ship pulls into a port, a town, and you are out, for the day, our chefs are ashore getting ingredients, restocking on that Bordeaux wine, getting local fair, local farm to fork ingredients. So everything that you're having has a local flair to it because it's small and we are able to do that. So very inspired menus. The master chefs we have are from Vienna. It's actually two brothers, and they're absolutely excellent at combining local ingredients. They also, on all of the menus, they have this fresh fare, which is a little more healthier options for you too. So you can eat however you want. It's sort of up to you. When I go on vacation, I go crazy. I live by calories don't count when you're on vacation. That's kind of how I live. So, but we'll kind of leave that up to you. But you can have guilt without sacrificing flavor. So we're real, that's an option. But as I mentioned, food's a big part of the whole experience. We have the main panorama dining room, and we got 2 4s and 6s for tables. We have what's called flex dining. So there's not set dining. The dining room is open between 7 and 8:30 every day. So just go whenever you want. We also have, if you want, a little more casual, we have the panoramic bistro. If you want like smaller, like tapas type dinner experiences, snacks, we have the Sky Grill. And as I mentioned, room service, but also if you are on a tour and on an excursion, say you're taking a bike out and you're going to be gone for the day, you just let the maitre d' know, and they will make a lunch for you that you can take off the ship. That's actually okay for you to do. And I heard that it's too much food, is what everybody is saying.
Oh, yeah.
So you can even take food off. You are also, as Tammy mentioned, you know, you're in one of the top wine regions in the world, of course. If you want to purchase wine ashore and bring it on, you're able to do that too. But again, keep in mind, we have beer, sparkling wine is included for breakfast, and we have beer and wine, local beer, local wines included for lunch and dinner. But
Jeff, I
what
want to
you
interject a little bit of
yeah,
something while you're changing slides. That looks so fun. Yes, thank you guys too for the the complimentary happy hour. Regarding the dining, so Vicky will be on board and she will create a custom itinerary for our members. Even though everything is hyper inclusive with Avalon, we still know that our members come and so many don't know anybody else in the group. So she will have a time of like a suggested invited time for breakfast for our members and an invited time for lunch. And it's all very organized with Avalon. So if there's an excursion in the morning, you will have time for breakfast and then you'll do the excursion and then you'll come back for lunch. And then you may have that, you know, back in your cabin nappy nap time and then you come for dinner. But Vicky, even though it's open dining, which is super conducive for people who are traveling like as couples or families, but with singles, we know that we're there to meet each other and to, I mean, for sure you're welcome to meet other guests on the vessel, and I think that's what one of the big benefits of a small ship cruising. But she will have an agenda. That's my point. You will not have to be wondering where our group is. She will have set times for us, and you have all the flexibility that Jeff's talking about, except that you will also have a little bit of structure if you want to be with the other members of the group.
okay, that sounds perfect. That sounds absolutely fantastic, and that's really great. And that's the great thing about this is you can still kind of tailor it to what you guys want to do.
That's right. I know
But
you want to come even more now, Jeff. I
yeah,
know.
of course, sign me up. I'm single. Sign me up. We don't sell drink packages just because we don't think we need to because of the included. But as you can see from the slide, an hour before dinner, we do a complimentary happy hour too. And it's not just beer and wine, it's also we do like craft cocktails included in it too. So that's a great way, as Tammy said, you know, come back, you're touring all day, come back, maybe a quick nap, get up, get ready for dinner, have a wonderful free drinks, complimentary happy hour, and then head over to dinner with your group. What a perfect way to spend a day. So as we say, we're here for your service. The 3-to-1 guest ratio, that's crew, passengers to crew. And they're there on the ship as well as on shore. But also some of the nice little things that we have. All the ships now have Starlink, and Starlink is free Wi-Fi for everybody. So I know that some of the big ships still are charging
Wow,
for
that's amazing.
it
Sorry,
really
shout
is
out.
because
Thanks,
the
Avalon.
the big ships are charging still a lot of money for Wi-Fi. So if you still need to be connected, free Wi-Fi on board the ships. And also throughout all of Globus, Avalon and Globus, we have this technology. It's called a Go app. And before you're registered, you can go online, make sure everything's set up, and you kind of set up your account on it. We always say download this app, and this app is absolutely amazing. It's connected, it's wireless, it's free for you, and it's basically your own personal app that you can carry with you. Daily schedules, transfer, itineraries. It's actually got a GPS built into it, so when you're ashore, you know what's there. It shows local restaurants, it shows local shopping on it, cafes, wine bars, entertainment on there. You can link post to social media on there too. So you've got your own app with you while you're ashore too. So that's actually a really cool, nice little tech addition for you too that we've added. So again, just real quickly, I want to, as we're winding down here, I want to just kind of quickly go through our new itinerary. As you see, you will begin and end in Bordeaux. It shows where you start and kind of up and down the river. And I will go through that. We'll kind of go through the itinerary. Also, we include many of the classic basically excursions on it. And it's many instances, walking tours, when you get off the ship, bike rides. We have all kinds of included things like that, as well as optional excursions for you to do. So I kind of want to jump into, let me kind of go to this. Can you guys see this then? Okay, so I just kind of want to
We still see the presentation, Jeff, and so while you're
Okay.
transitioning, I'll just chat for a minute
Okay, all right,
with
let's do it.
everybody here. Jeff's going to go through the day-to-day itinerary that we're anticipating, and the agenda that he was showing is a wonderful. You're going to get to some of the top places in the wine region. Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Thanks.
there we go. There we go. Technology's great when it works. So, okay, as we had mentioned, so I just quickly go through, and you have to pardon my French. Again, day one is when, well, you guys will already be there, so it'll be easy for you, and you already have spent a couple days in Europe, so you shouldn't have any problem with any with jet lag or anything like that. The first day, it was overnight docking in Bordeaux, and then basically based on the tide, the second day you will go along the Garonne River. As you can see, generally you're going to do this classic excursion, and this is you should have availability. This is all I believe on Tammy's website. Also, the classic excursion, which is included guided tour, the spirit of law, all kinds of really go through, get to see a castle on here. Overnight in Cadillac-sur-Garonne, you're going to have day 3 over to Fort Medoc, all kinds of bikes, vines, and wines. Get up in the morning, leisurely sail to this area. This is your active excursion. You will have access to the bikes on it. You will again have a guide that can take you out. Again, if you want to get a lunch on board, you can bring the lunch with you. That's the thing to do, is kind of ride around the banks. That's sort of my understanding. Everybody loves doing that, is do the kind of the bike rides. Again, another overnight dock that you're going to have. And then the day 4, Belay to Bourges, you're going to be fine art, fine bubbly, a fine day for a drive. We also will have optional excursions right about 60 days prior. If you log in to your to the website, it will list the optional excursions you have. But these will be the included, a guided visit to the Citadel, followed by a panoramic drive. So some unique things here. In the afternoon, you will cruise again the Dordogne River, free time for you. And then day 5, Libourne excursion to a medieval village if you would like. And then the day 6 is you will head over to Bordeaux. So you will actually have, again, and then do another overnight in Bordeaux. So you basically will have 2 nights at the end also with Bordeaux. So you are definitely going to have your opportunity to do some great drinking of wine. So again, which is more of a reason for me to sign up for this too. So that's it really quickly. So I'm gonna stop share here. And I think I'm gonna hand it back to Tammy, and she's gonna kind of go through some more details.
Okay, so great, Jeff. Thank you so much. And I mean, guys, I know that many of you came here to understand about river cruising. You also wanted to know about, by the way, can everybody see the Singles Travel International page? Okay. And you wanted to know about the program, the river cruising. And Jeff, thanks for sharing all of the special differences about Avalon Waterways. I wanted everybody to know that Vicky did this trip before. She has experience in the region. And all of what Jeff spoke about is on our website under the itinerary section. And I would just encourage you to take a look at the areas. And if you have questions, let us know. Because we are happy to explain in further depth if you want to understand more about the itinerary or what you're going to see there. It's all here. Everything that we have here on our website, we took from the Avalon Waterways website. So the main thing, though, is to understand that all of your excursions are included. That is something that we get questions on, right? Members will say, well, should I sign up for my excursions? Because the Avalon folks send you access to their website and they do give you options to book, but 95% of everything that you're going to want to do is included. Every once in a while, they may have some kind of an evening event that's a payable items. For example, I think in this particular itinerary, the last night in Bordeaux, I'm looking at this right now because I set this up. There is there's some kind of a discovery program in Bordeaux, and it's a light show, and you could pay extra for that. But 95% of everything you're going to want to do is here, and it's included. So your cruise is included, your beautiful cabin or your suite that Jeff was showing you is included. Your meals are all included, you know, farm to fork. Your drinks for the most part are included, right? If you have that, if you're not even a big drinker, you're way covered. If you are a big drinker, you're going to have he said champagne with breakfast, beer and wine with lunch and dinner, and then they're going to do some tastings. They'll not only take you out to experience what's going on, but they often bring on experts to the vessel so that they can either entertain you or they'll do a tasting of some sort, whether it's wine or cheese or something along those lines. So it is really, in today's age of vacations, an all-inclusive. So you pretty much just have to get yourself there, and almost everything else is included. And I'm sure on our frequently asked questions, we tell you what's not included. Then STI comes in and we add the pre-cruise package in Paris and lots of other benefits, including, oh, by the way, because you're traveling with us, all of your gratuities are paid up front. So at the end of a cruise, Jeff was talking about the big cruise experience, you know, you would get your bill and there'd be another $17 a day for gratuities to the crew, which nobody ever balks at because we love our cruise crew members. They take care of us like kings and queens for a week, so we never mind. But it is included with us. And not only just to the Avalon Waterways crew, but the local guides. So Jeff talked about when you get off the vessel and you're in the heart of this tiny little gorgeous town, a guide might meet you for a little walking tour and take you around and show you the highlights. Your tip to her or him is already included. So it's phenomenal. Now, I'm going to just spend a minute because we promised Q&A and we ran a little bit late. So guys, if you can stay, great. We'd appreciate it. But I want to tell you why I think after all those amazing benefits, you want to make your reservation within the next 7 days. Because we have a special going on for the show, and that is a free upgrade. So if you book either the middle deck, the panorama suite, for example, we have 3 different prices here. Our premium members always get the best price with Singles Travel International. It's such a small investment. It's $397 a year for a premium membership. And that gives you access to all of these benefits. So as an example here, you're going to save $2,920. Your membership is $397. So for $397, you're going to save $2,920. We have 3 options. You are able to pay us with a check or Zelle and avoid credit card fees. You are able to pay us and get your credit cards points just the way you like them, right? Or if you're not a premium member, this is what your regular price would be. So the savings is immense. The offer for us this time in this next week, because of the show, is that if you book a panorama suite sapphire deck cabin, you're going to automatically be upgraded to the royal suite, which is on the top deck. So Jeff was explaining, it's a small vessel. There's 3 decks. The sapphire and the royal deck have the same cabin structure, but the royal deck is 1 deck higher. And so if you've been on a river cruise, you would know this. If you haven't, you may not know this, but when we get into some of the ports, we kind of raft up next to other vessels. Or when you're cruising along, just to have that bird's eye view, you're at the very top level. So you have the best view on the ship. So we're offering a free upgrade. And that's only if you make the reservation in the next 7 days. And then thank you, Jeff, because you offered an additional $50 onboard credit, which I think is going to pay for some wine corkage fees for our members who want to bring in wine from those regions that they visit in Bordeaux. So guys, I just encourage you to join this program. There is a wonderful leader by the way of Vicky. And if you click, let me go back on our site. If you were to click on the concierge here, you can see we have some great features on our site for singles. There's Vicky, there's her story. You also have the who's going section. So you're able to see who's already signed up for this trip. You can click on that. You'll see who's booked. You can send messages to other members who are on the vacation. Get to know them better if they're from your area. And as you can see, this is a very popular cruise already. So what I'm going to do is get off this Zoom meeting. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. So you can contact us 24/7 at www.singlestravelintl.com. And we're going to go to a Q&A here with our live members who are in the house. So thank you for joining us.